Hi, everybody. This is Eric. I wanted to put out a little bit of an anomaly video. I do this from time to time at the Gold Investment Letter, which simply is, I'll give you a little bit of background. This is important for everybody. I don't harp on this at GIL. We tend to focus obviously on mining and metals opportunities, stocks, the metals themselves. However, in 2016, I just want to give you a little bit of background. And for those that you've heard this a little bit before, there's going to be some new features here. And the reason I'm highlighting Bitcoin today is because if you don't own any Bitcoin, what are you doing? Do you own any physical gold? No? You just buy penny stocks and mining? What the hell are you doing? Physical gold is the safest place for my money on planet Earth to continue to maintain my purchasing power over long periods of time. They call Bitcoin digital gold. The only reason that they do that, by the way, is because they don't understand what it is. It's a little too complicated. There is a learning curve, however. It's quite a learning curve. My estimation since 2016, which I really ramped up in starting in the 18 bear market, I've put in over 15,000 hours in studying blockchain, crypto. It still takes up a large amount of my time because metals and mining equities, it does make up about 40 to 45% of my investable assets. The only reason it's that level is because there's a lot of things on the junior side that are still way down. That has been as high as like 60-65% in the past. And crypto is higher. It's like 45 or 50%. And a lot of that is just playing profit. And redeploying, some new capital during the bear market and especially recently, because I think that we're going to have a third leg in the current bull cycle in Bitcoin. This thing, with the genius of the way that it was designed, has a correlation. It's a deflationary asset. So not only gold is just a very modest inflationary asset because you can't really dig out more than 2.5% of the global supply that already exists on the earth every year with all the mining companies put together. They went on the gold standard back in the day because that's a fair amount to keep up with population growth, leave a little bit of room for something else, and then nobody could exploit it. That's why gold is sound money. It's fair money. And when I say physical gold, I don't mean you always have to take possession of the physical gold. I think that a lot of people, they skip this step reading this newsletter, which is unfortunate. I just want to make one statement and I will go back. If you guys watch the Real Vision interviews that I did starting a year ago with Roger Hurst, we did a show every week almost for 6 months. I broke down every step of the way going into November, December, January. And then, especially I think it was in March when we finally broke out on a monthly basis to where I had said this is a trigger. We're going to 2,700 to 3,200 now. We're at 2,656. I was maybe a little bit late, but I said that, we need the monthly breakout of the $2,200 level to put a fork in it. It was a quadruple top, and that's priced in US dollars. So listen, I just want to mention with Bitcoin, it's not digital gold yet. In the future, it may very well be a preferred store of value. But right now, what it is it's a new technology, it's a new network. It isn't being used as currency as the white paper was intended yet. Gold isn't used as a currency either, but its value continues to go up. It's a wonderful um, reserve asset for governments, sovereign wealth funds, family offices, high net worth individuals, or just the regular Joe to play defense against the debasement and purchasing power of our savings, which are in fiat dollars. Bitcoin still has venture capital type volatility and risk. Venture capital, typically private companies, whatever. I'm talking about if it were public. You know, this is like the internet in 1998. Uh, the crypto markets, the blockchain applications, all the things that are being built on it now, the pace in which it's being adopted and changing. And then the big deal, guys, is this. You know, there was a hype move in Q1 in Bitcoin where it went to 74,000. And thank God it cooled off for 6 months. It's built a bull flag, giving people another chance to accumulate before this thing goes bananas. I do a lot of work on this stuff, guys. I could be wrong at any time with anything, and I've been wrong in the gold investment letter. I've put trades out that didn't work. I essentially was early with where I thought that some of the junior miners would start to recover after this, 3.5, 4 year bear market, things of that nature. I'm not perfect, but I will tell you this. If you look back and if you want to take the time, go on to the Gold Investment Letter YouTube channel and go back as far as 2018, 2019, and in particular, go into 2020. That is when I sounded the absolute fire alarm that Bitcoin and crypto was the biggest opportunity I ever saw in my life, and it was going to the moon. And this is after and during the COVID crash where Bitcoin went all the way down. I believe it was either 32 or 4,200. And then, right after that, I was so vocal with my gold people because the reality is because people believe that Bitcoin is digital gold and it can go up more than gold, it is a competitor of gold to some people. For me, they work complementary. You want to have more gold to store your value and your wealth and your savings and your energy and your labor, particularly when you have a lot of money and you also have a Bitcoin scenario where the run has already occurred and you're most likely looking at another down cycle, which can be very violent. So there's times when you want more Bitcoin on the offensive and times that you want more gold on the defensive. They work really well. I'll give you an example. November 2021. I thought I was pretty smart. I ended up taking a ton of my crypto profits off. I'm going to tell you guys something, okay? I'm just going to say this. I'm not bragging, but I just want you to take me seriously that this isn't some cockamamie recommendation. I've had 5 baggers, 10 baggers, 20 baggers, 50 baggers, and even 100 bagger in the junior mining sector. And for a period there in the teens, we were rocking. I had probably a dozen 10 to 30x plays. So I've made really good money on junior mining companies. And if it wasn't for this business, then I wouldn't have had money to stake my and methodically build a crypto position during the bear market of 2018 and 2019 and 2020. I remember one of my accounts. Okay. I won't mention which one, but I remember looking at it. I have screenshots of this stuff. This isn't bullshit. One of my accounts that I use to buy a lot of the altcoins, the speculative ones, I've got a background in tech venture capital also. So I'm comfortable doing, taking high risk, putting smaller amounts in. I stayed very disciplined through 19 and the 20 crash, and I just kept putting in like small amounts. But anyway, my account was up to something. And then in the crash, I remember after COVID, I was moving. I had money on the side for that scenario. And I just kept buying as they crashed. And that's when, like, for example, I mean, I put maybe a grand on top of 3 or 4 grand that I had put into Phantom FTM at 0.005 cents, so half a penny. Within like 7 months, definitely within 12, it went to over $3. It's 600x. I had so anyway, my account value in the middle of 2020, because I was so convicted that the pump cycle was coming, I just put all new money in there. If I had a good month of income, if it was a crash in crypto, I'd put more money in, and then I had automatic renewal purchases on in a modest way. My account was worth $125,000 on most of the drasticness of that pullback. Within 8 or 10 months, it was worth $6.5 million. I didn't play the COVID cycles perfectly. You can't. It's too volatile. Anybody that tells you to trade crypto or they're day trading, stay away from. But Bitcoin is something that you can have confidence. Now that we had that run in the first quarter around the ETF approvals, there is huge money coming into this run. Enormous capital that you can still get ahead of. Yeah, it's at 62,000. Oh, you think you missed it? Wait till 5 or 10 years from now when it's over 1 million. I said back in 17, 18, publicly multiple times, I begged people around 4,500, $5,000 Bitcoin that if you had a child that was under the age of like 14, just buy each of them one Bitcoin. The worst case scenario is you're going to lose 5 grand on the for your child. The best case scenario, or the actual scenario, is what I believe, is I said that by the time they turn 18, you'll be able to pay for their entire college education in cash. And I'm talking about a doctorate degree at Harvard. And that is on pace, depending on how old your child was at that time. I hope some people, which most of us, we get into this habit once in a while. We get a big gain and we sell, I'll buy it back cheaper or whatever. Bitcoin is not something you want to trade around. You should be stacking it because it's going to be one of the most valuable reserve assets and currencies on the globe. And it's an entire new sector that is coming up. So I love gold. And Bitcoin was built on the premises of gold. Satoshi Nakamoto, genius, anyway, the BlackRocks. Do you know Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin since 2015? Trust me, the smart money, the smartest money. Look at Larry Fink. The guy flipped and now he's on CNBC talking about flight to quality is Bitcoin. Because we all know that they're debasing our fiat currencies down to zero. They're going to have no buying power eventually. The dollar has been lucky for us because it's still been the strongest. But that's only when you put the dollar against other fiat currencies. You really need to price it in gold, or price it. What they will do in the future is you're going to price things in Bitcoin. The game has changed. The game is changing. I'm coming to you because I am saying that this might be your last chance to get in the game with crypto. even if you don't understand it all, what I would also say is the only guarantee I've ever made in this newsletter or in my career, the newsletter started in 2011, I'll stick with it. Any time and energy that you put into learning about crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, you will not have any regrets that you put that time and money, time and energy into it, because this is the future. This is not going away. Okay. The way that people did things, like if you're just sitting on cash, feeling like you've got wealth, guys, we know this stuff as gold investors. That's why I don't like that the crypto community with the Bitcoin people attack the gold investors and gold because it's heavy and this and that. I mean, gold's tokenized and ETFized as well. They don't get that we actually understand monetary principles. And therefore, we should be able to get Bitcoin and the importance of it. A decentralized, deflationary, I mean, half of the new supply of Bitcoin gets removed from the market every 4 years. So, and nobody controls it, not one entity. Everybody will talk about BlackRock's going to do this and do that. But listen, the institutional entrance into this business is going to be a good thing for people that are positioned. Eventually, you know, who's going to try to do what to it? They can already do that in the crypto markets. Like, you know, it's just the same shit like with the stock market. If you have a bunch of idiots that are levered up, you can see all this information. I'll do it too. I'll find when the leverage is extremely high and the market is already run up, and I'll start to put shorts on. And then somebody somewhere that's got a lot more money than me, they wash them out and it goes right back up. That's why you see this with Bitcoin. It goes flush down to 47,000, right back up to 55. They're washing people out. They're getting the leverage out of the system. It's going into strong hands. And I just wanted to encourage you guys to not, ignore this area. It's very important. I've said this before about putting 1% of your investable assets into Bitcoin. I think if you don't have at least 10% of your investable assets in crypto in general, most of it in Bitcoin, you're just out of the loop. You're late to the game. You don't get it. BlackRock came out with a study, a back study on the ideal portfolio allocation for the highest returns and the best risk reward is having 85% of your money in Bitcoin over the S&P, bonds, everything. Look it up, do a search. I'm not pulling it up right now, but I'm getting that sense. And usually, later in October, November, December, January are really good months for crypto. We're in an easing cycle with the Fed that's hopefully going to continue to benefit our mining and metals prices. But crypto, there's nothing like it, guys. If you want to save a lot of time, and if you like to speculate, so I tend to say put half to 2/3 of the money you want in Bitcoin and crypto, in Bitcoin and a bit of it in Ethereum. And then you worry about finding some of these other tokens. I'm not a meme coin guy, but I've found some ridiculous tokens. In 2021, 8 tokens made me between 125 and 650 times my money. Even without doing that perfectly. And I also had bankruptcies at hedge fund that I had $1 million in that had 80% of more, 90% of more money in FTX, Celsius Network. I thought I was smart because most of that was in Paxos Gold. I wanted to get that little extra dividend. They went bankrupt. I had 850 grand in there. BlockFi 275. I got portions of that back, but I also had, tokens that I sold most of in 2021 that came back down 90%. Doesn't matter. I was moving a lot of those funds into real estate, into physical gold, into cash, into uncorrelated assets. And I just don't have to work ever again because of crypto. I really don't. And I want, that to happen for some of you, whether you stick with just the mining stocks and things, but you're going to have a better shot and more action in crypto. And so here, let me just show you this. Some of you don't even know this, but so I am the editor of the Phenom Crypto Letter, phenomcrypto.com. We do Q&As every 2 weeks now, going forward till the end of the year. Q&As, so like if you don't even know where to start or what to do, we help with all that stuff. But most importantly, I have a model portfolio that you have access as a premium member that includes even very tiny tokens. Between last October and March, we had 4 that went up 10 to 12x, a bunch of 5-baggers, triples, whatever. That market in the altcoins has gotten really cheap, especially areas that I like AI that led that move. They're destroyed right now. It's such a good time to be looking at altcoin investments. If you want to just get in the game and get started, and I'm not talking about just putting everything into one or like these little shit coins, as we call them, but I'm also telling you, if you guys get involved in this a little bit, you're going to get hooked because it's a rabbit hole. And the applications of this whole world, we just don't, we can't comprehend. Um, it's amazing, some of the stuff that I've found. And some of the valuations for the tokens are just incredible right now. We have a micro gems list. I think there's 6 or 8 tokens on there. We have low cap, micro cap, core holdings. I show my portfolio regularly, my main portfolio that I don't keep everything on there, but a lot of the small ones I do, so you can see what I have. I have mid cap favorites, which are the 100 million to $1 billion market cap value. And then I have the top 60 tokens, which ones that I own and what percentage in the portfolio, AKA Bitcoin, Internet Computer, Solana, Uniswap, things like that. The ones that I like the best, Chainlink. And so, and buy up to prices. What you can buy up to, it's gone past that, just chill. I can get you up to speed quick. I'm going to do one thing here, and that is summarize. Get in Bitcoin or forever hold your peace. I might come up with like one more update when it starts flying, just to remind you guys. Because when it goes through that 74,000 again this time, it's gone. Gone. How high will it go in this cycle? I don't know. I'll watch and see if it's going to be a front-ended cycle that just rips up to 140,000 and then that's it, or if it sort of staggers its way and goes to a freaking million. That's not on the realm of possibility. I give that like a 15% chance. When I say in this cycle, that's like by the end of next year. Bitcoin's nuts, guys. Do not underestimate it. And then what I'm going to do is put a link where you can get 50% off if you want to join the premium. If you don't want to join the premium, just go to phenomcrypto.com, get in the free e-letter like you get here. And I do give out good information there. And as you know, like here and there, I don't blast shit out to you every day or every week. I do it when I have something to say, and I get into individual ideas, and I also talk about the general crypto market, when to be offensive, when to be defensive, portfolio management, risk management, position sizing, all that stuff. So yeah, join the e-letter. But for those of you that have some dough and that want to get in this space, or if you already are and you want some freaking potential monstrous winners, just join the premium at 50% off. It's nothing. It's like, I don't even know what it is. It's like 600 and some bucks for a year. I'm not going to be doing this forever. What's probably going to happen for me, guys, is that I'll continue to write this letter, and I want to try to assist as best I can in helping some people navigate, killing it in the next bull cycle into mining and metals, hopefully last for a bit. And the same thing with crypto. And then probably the best thing that's going to happen is I will like maybe occasionally record podcasts, do some writings once in a while, and perhaps launch a fund, um, which I probably should have done a long time ago. But it doesn't matter because for me, I manage my own money. That's my first priority. I am an investor first. I share what I like. I don't have any promotional ties with any tokens or marketing. I don't take advertising dollars. It's just me sharing with you, and I appreciate support for people that come into premium. So I really try to take care of you guys there. So hey, if anything at the end of this message, just realize it's not too late to buy Bitcoin. Okay, guys, I appreciate you. Cheers.